on the hot seat. As usual, every week we come with a new episode where we discuss crucial issues that are happening across Egypt. Today, we're very delighted to have a very prominent guest. Through her eyes and her experience, probably through her analysis, we can get to know where exactly does the media lie today, lost between the public channels and the private media, and the ethics or the code of ethics, which again, through the eyes of an academic perspective, what are the code of ethics here in Egypt, and do we really abide by them when we come to performing our jobs as reporters, as presenters, or anybody working within this field? We're very much delighted to have joining us Dr. Azza Heikel, who is the Dean College of Language and Communications at the Arab Academy. Thank you for joining us, Doctor.
Good night.
There is a lot of issues concerning media, and maybe the first thing that would come to one's mind is, are we really practicing professionalism when it comes to our roles as media practitioners?
I think that we have a problem in media, particularly after the 25th revolution, because something happened in the society. There was a split, there was a clash inside the society. There was a change in the code of ethics, in the concepts. And parallelly, something happened that made the state media, which means the state regulation media, like the newspaper or the Maspero, have faded out. This was because of something pre-revolution, and this was also because a number of private, can we say, systems of media have emerged. And these systems of media concerning or including newspapers, not for parties, but they call themselves independent newspapers. Also, we have independent channels, and most of these independent and private channels are owned mainly by businessmen. And this change in the society, whether it is socially or mentally or religiously or politically, have seriously affected the media production and the media concepts and the media ethics. The problem is greater than we can imagine. We need to restate and reconsider where should we stand and where do we stop, and where or what we are looking for and what we are looking at. Do we need the media? Because we have changed the idea of the media. It is not just media, it is communication now. Because if we speak about the media, it is an interpretation or an interpreter between you, it's a tool between you and your audience, any kind of audience, visual or audio or even readable. Now it is communicative. So it is communication because we have the social media, we have the interaction of the audience with the media. So if we are speaking about the media or the communication now, is it only one side or it is double side? And again, is it the media for giving you just info and just news, or is it the media for entertainment, only entertainment, pure entertainment, to gain more audience, to gain more money through the hits, through the obscene, through the unusual, through pleasing and flattering the audience? Is it this the media we really need? We need a media and a means of communication with the society that would change that society to the better. And at the same time to stress the identity of people, stress the Egyptian identity, to reconcile what has been smashed, what has been split out. We need a media for the kids. We do not have media for children that would speak to them and develop their capabilities and their skills, and also stress, this media would stress their identity, their language, their belongingness. We need media for enlightenment. we do not have a media that would enlighten the society, would make the society aware, not of the news, not of the what is going around, but also that the society would be enlightened through what is going on in the whole world and in its own surroundings.
Yes, now Dr. Azia spoke of many crucial points that I'd like to, if you'd allow me please, to break down each and every part. When we're speaking of where the media lies today, especially in the Middle East and particularly in Egypt, because we do know that Egypt is leading the media in the region, we're talking about the change of content and the change of production. Now allow us to start with the change of content and shaping public opinion. Everybody's talking about the freedom of expression and democracy, and they're trying to imitate the Western media, although even Trump himself admitted that this media performance in the West is not freedom of expression. Yet, where does credibility lie? There's a thin line between freedom of expression and lack of credibility, especially when it comes to shaping the public opinion and those who are not educated enough to understand where the truth lies.
Again, we are adopting the American style and the American concepts of media, that the media is mainly for the public opinion. Public opinion is only a part of the role of the media, because public opinion is related to politics, more or less, is related to whether you are going to, can we say, support one regime or the other, to be in the opposition or to be in the revolutionist, or to be belonging to the state and calling for stability and more security. This is one thing. Public opinion is important, but the issue of public opinion and freedom of expression, they coincide, because the freedom of expression, when you express your ideas, your opinions, as an expert or as a professor or as a guest in your in any program, you have all the freedom, all the right, as far as you do not oppose the norms, the code of ethics, as far as you have a solidation and something that would support your point of view. But if you misuse the using of the microphone, if you misuse your program as, can we say, as a media man or a media woman, as a writer, and you mingle your opinions, pure opinions, your point of views, with the objectivity of the media as such, this means that you are losing your credibility. The issue is they have taught some of the people working in the media and the audience, telling them that media has to be very objective. The media is never objective. The media is relatively objective.
Yes.
It is most of the time subjective. You have to take one side, then the other side. But the idea is, the professionalism is, that if you are taking a side more than the other, you have to support, you have to consolidate, you have to prove your point. This is the issue.
Yes, because production has also become very competitive, the enormous amount of private channels that are, coming out, especially as you said earlier, owned primarily by businessmen. So there's challenge, and there's always.
This is not a challenge. I'm sorry. They are manipulating the society. By the way, they are using these channels to gain more profit for their work, for their business.
Definitely.
To have a status in the country. They want to secure their business.
But how are they doing that? By giving a pessimistic preview to the people?
No. Telling the audience and telling they are speaking to two audience. First, they are addressing the audience, but mainly they are addressing the government. Let's forget about the idea of the state, because the state is larger than the government. They are addressing the people who can, they have the decision or the decision maker. They are addressing them, telling them, we can manipulate the audience, we can change their opinions, we can change their attitudes, we can shape their public opinion or the public opinion towards whatever we want. There are certain issues we can raise, certain issues we can discuss, we can make a fuss, we can make a scandal, we can we say, give rumors and help to raise a kind of a fire or disputes or conflicts inside the society with our programs. At the same time, we are doing something very, very dangerous, that we are making the people entertained all the time. We are not introducing any new information, no knowledge at all, no culture at all. We are making people like having or taking drugs. It is the drug of fun. It is the drug of disputes. It's the drug of conflict. And if they want some kind of religious programs, we will provide them with the religious programs that will increase fanatism, that will increase the idea of discrimination between the two parts of the society and of the country. And this is very dangerous, and it is done deliberately.
Yes, and that's why, because the media has become very powerful, and it's like the fourth generation war that changes and brainwashes society, ranging all the way from being extremist to very open without culture. Who is there responsible?
We do not have culture. I'm sorry. I have to spot this word, which is very important. There is nothing related to culture. If you trace, if you make an analysis of content analysis of most of the programs that are presented and produced in the private, basically. They are mainly talk shows, then entertainment shows
with huge budgets.
Then where we can say programs for religion, programs for cooking, and some programs for women, which is very degrading for women. And these programs are obscene because they use very low language. They discuss problems that are not related to the common women.
They're just individual outstanding cases that cannot be generalized in a society.
They are not generalized, and at the same time, they are not addressing the normal Egyptian woman. They are either addressing a standard of women or the very low women, but the majority, which is the middle class, are not addressed.
Yes, but I mean, Doctor, in a country where, as you said, there's such a mixed variety of media, although it's going towards a certain direction, how come there's nobody responsible to hold all this? I mean, we had once upon a time a Ministry of Information, where to a certain extent there was, a line of limitations. People will be held responsible, whether it's the presenter, the journalist, the reporter, the owner, for what kind of content they present to the public. But that was exchanged, replaced by an institution that many people believe is not really effective. And we don't have a syndicate for the media, which is another story that we need to discuss.
We have to differentiate between two things. The idea of the syndicate, it is not related to laws, nor the ethics, the code of ethics for the media, because in all the world, the syndicates are for regularization, to make it, we can say, to put it in a form to govern the idea of...
But doesn't that build ethics over time when you find singers being presenters and doctors being presenters?
No, this is not in the syndicate. The syndicate is to offer some kind of security, insurance, some facilities, services. Yes, to put a kind of regulations to the profession itself, who is going to exercise this profession. But the institution or the organization that is going to be with the High Supreme Council for Media, I think they will issue certain laws that will help to regulate and to govern and to control the profession. And this doesn't mean that this would be a kind of censorship or overpowering in the media, and this is against the freedom of expression. On the contrary, this would enable the true professional media men and women to work in a correct and lawful, legitimate atmosphere.
I need to talk with you, please, Doctor, about the revolution of media with the use of technology, and I'm particularly mentioning social media and how effective, not just effective, how it was actually, you know, the sort of a spark to revolutions in many countries. Not only that, but everybody is complaining about the amount of false news being published on social media and rotating quicker and reaches. I mean, now there's almost every single person has a telephone connected to the internet at all social levels, and this is something really, really scary because you cannot control that.
No, you can't control, because even in the most liberal countries, they are controlling the social media.
How is that?
They are controlling the social media through the net, through the certain organization following the rumors, following the one who's issuing, releasing, posting such posts or such ideas. And if they are not threatening the social security of the country, they leave it. You can control the social things, but the social security and the political security of any country, in America, in France, in the UK, in these three very liberal American or European countries, they do have what we call them censorship and control over the social media. This is on the part of politics, but let's speak about the part of society.
Exactly.
Again, if we are speaking about the part of the society, again, you can have what we call some laws to be issued that anybody who is going to threaten a person personally or follow the person or do something of sexual harassment or something
crimes
of
even, yes.
or crimes, there must be laws that would control, trace, and find the people. By the way, electronic media and social media has to be under the supervision of the social law of the society, the court law. And there must be courts in the future for such crimes.
Yes.
And I think this will be issued in the Parliament, and also will be issued if we have the High Supreme Council for the media and also the Organization for the Media.
Dr. Hassan, what direction do you see the Egyptian media going to today?
I think the Egyptian media is going in a splitting road. And this splitting road is a road between either to be the media for the people and for building the country, or is it the media for the businessman, commercial, and destroying the identity of the society?
Which direction do you think it's most likely going? I mean, I know it's a very lame question, but which direction do you think it's most likely going?
Egypt is a big country, and it will never fall into this commercial destruction of the identity. And I think that sooner or later, the people working in the media, particularly the state media, the media that is related to the audience.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. In all this hazard, complicated situation, where is the state media? Because truly nobody seems to really, give credibility, pay attention to production values of the state media anymore, although they do provide cultural identity programs.
This is our role, the people in the field, the experts, the people working in the media, the state media. It is the role of the audience themselves. It is the role of all cultured people, the men of letters and the women of letters. We are going to work on restoring the glory of the state media.
How are you going to do that when everybody is leaving out for other opportunities because of the very eye-catchy opportunities that they find?
We have a number of, can we say, people of excellence still working inside the state media, and I think they will never leave, and Egypt will provide us with new blood in this field.
And my final question also, in comparison to the media of the region, if I may say, I'm not going to compare very much to the Western countries, although, I mean, in my very humble opinion, I don't see that we are very different. I mean, we do have the capabilities, the resources, but I mean, in terms of the region, what makes Egypt very outstanding in the media? Do you think it's the freedom? Do you think it's the market? Do you think it's the profession? What is it?
It's a mixture of all this, but I think the history also. We have a lot of heritage. We have a certain heritage of media production, of film production, of art production, of culture production. We have the biggest and the largest studios in all of the Middle East. We have a library that it is unmatched. Nobody can have such a library. We have the manpower, the skillful manpower in all over the area. And we also have the market, as you said. We have our country, which is a leading country in the area, and we will never fall down.
Definitely, and I do wish for all the best for you and, of course, for all the hard duties and tasks that you are taking over your shoulder to help ensure that Egypt does maintain its culture, identity, and through the eyes of the media and restore it, definitely.
Yes, thank
Dr.
you.
Azza Haikal, the Dean of College of Languages and Communication at the Arab Academy, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And that brings us to the end of our episode, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for another new episode coming up next week on our program, The Hot Seat.